So let's talk about credits today. Now it's important to understand how credits are calculated in packages so that whenever you run an automation, you can kind of like guesstimate how many credits might be used up, right? When I say guesstimating, it's just a rough idea, but it's I think what it does is that if you have an idea, then you at least help you to understand if you end up buying tier one or tier two or three or four stacks of tier twos, what are you getting, right? And how many automations can you run, or is it enough? Or maybe you got to like stack two full stacks, right? That means four times tier two times two, right? To deliver whatever your agency is promising to your clients. Right, so let's take a look at this. All right, if you go to the documentation, basically it's docs.packages.com. Okay, and if you go to the section here that says credits and you scroll all the way to the bottom, you'll be able to see that sometimes you can run an automation without using any credits. So, for example, if you have a setup that uses these blocks, right, input, JSON builder, and HTTP, technically you do not consume any credits at all. And you can run this all day long, right? And if you start off with 600, after the whole day, you still should have 600, right? Because they don't consume any credits. And then if you were to use the what I call the in-house LLM, then it could consume, a minimum of one credit, and then basically you just go all the way up. So sometimes it could be 5, 10, 15, 20, right? So it all depends on the complexity of the task and which model you are using, right? So if you're using like GPT-4, then it's going to consume more than GPT-4 or mini, for example. And then from this little table here, right? It's basically if you are using the so-called the packages, right, to generate image, then you consume the most, right? To scrape um, stuff off a web page, right? You only use one, but it's per page, right? So let's say, for example, you were to scrape AppSumo, and then AppSumo may have three, four pages, or maybe the search engine results page, right? Whenever you go to Google, you search for something, and then you want to scrape the first four pages, right? Then you use up one credit. So actually, interesting question is this: if you set your Google, the SERP, right, the search engine results page, right, to display 100 search result, okay, on the first page, right? Then I wonder if you would script everything, right, 100 results, would it still be one credit? So that would be an interesting test, right? As opposed to if you were to leave it to the standard default, the search engine, whatever setup, then it will be like maybe like 8 results on the first page or 10 results, right? Or maybe 8, including 2 advertisements or something. And then second page, right, you have 10 results, and third page you have 10 results, something like this. So to scrape like 100 results, maybe it's 10 pages, right? So you would need 10 credits. But if you were to, you know what I mean? If you were to set the first page to show 100 results, then technically it's just one credit, right? So it'll be interesting if someone can put this to the test, someone with much free time on their hands. Okay, so now let's take a look at the maybe the credits, right? Over here. If you were to you see some of these packages here, you like maybe the more popular ones, right? You see over here, okay, like post to Facebook group with image. If you were to run this, it's only one credit. Okay, and then if you were to do a Google search and then create a table, that's also one credit. So you could include this in your automation chain, right? When you're setting up like linking all the packages together, and very little credits are consumed, right? So if you take a look, if you were to generate an image, so this is 7. If you were to create a crossword puzzle, that's 14, right? So this is horrible, right? It consumes a lot of credits. Okay, so I'm not sure they can see, but over here, right? If you look at where the cursor is, you'll see that if I do a Facebook group analysis, then it will consume 6 credits, right? Okay, so let me show you a setup, right, where you could use AI and don't consume any credit. So if you take a look at here, Now, if you were to use the input, the JSON builder, the HTTP, they don't consume any credit. And then if you were to use the in-house LLM, right, which let me show you what I mean in-house LLM. If you go, right click, okay, you right click and you add the LLM here, right? So this is the in-house that's built by Malcolm, right? Then we can choose the model, okay, whatever model you want. So in this case, the GPT-4o mini, and then we put in the prompt, okay, and then if you were to connect it, right, uh, it will consume minimum 1 credit, right? And if you were to ask this to say write, 10 pages, for example, of something, right, an article, or maybe 5,000 word article, then it will consume more credits. Right? It's reasonable to assume that. All right, but over here, what I have is a setup that uses two input, right? So if you take like two input blocks here or nodes, right? They don't consume any credit. I have a JSON builder here, right? So here, a JSON builder here doesn't consume, and then the HTTP request block, right? These two are HTTP request block. So over here, actually, what I have is I create a using the documentation provided by Strico. I actually create a HTTP request to Strico, and then I've got LTD, right? So I'm just putting the key in there, pinging Strico, calling them up and say, hey, help me to do this AI, lifting whatever, and then and I'm asking them to do that for me using the API. And then I'm going to send this to a webhook. All right. So this is the webhook, and I already copied this, and let me show you. All right. Post. Okay. So let's see how many credits, right, this automation will cost me. Okay. So right now I've got 625. Okay. So I'm going to run this package. Okay. I'm going to put in a message. So what kind of messages? Okay. Maybe I will ask this, right? Ask this question. What are the ethical concerns of AI in marketing? Right, it's a fairly reasonable question to ask. If you're a marketer, right? And then I'm going to pick a model, right? So I've got a model picked out already. So let me paste this here. Oh, wait a minute, just give me a sec. So okay, because okay, so let me copy this. All right. So this is the model that I'll use, the cheapest one, right? GPT 4o. All right, I'm going to run this package. So I've got no keys, nothing. I'm just going to run this package. All right, so the package is running. So we started at 625. Okay, and we have finished running. So if I were to go here, there is indeed an output, right? There is a content, okay, uh, being generated, right? So this is the answer here. It's the same thing, right? So and it's in JSON, right? So it says the use of artificial intelligence, blah 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 blah. All right, and this whole chunk here. And if we were to go back to the dashboard here, you can see that you will refresh this. Okay, nothing is being consumed, right? So if I go to settings, this generation costs me nothing. So if you think that perhaps there's a delayed charge or something, we can refresh this again, right? So true to his word, okay, Malcolm in his document says that wait, hang on, let me go back to the where is it? Right here. Okay. It says that if you were to use the input block and the HTTP request as well as the JSON builder, and you run this whole automation, right? It costs you nothing. So they have it, right? Nothing like seeing, right? Because seeing is believing. So in this case, if I were to um, buy a tier 2 and then I set up as such, and perhaps when the incoming webhook is ready, I link it up to a form, okay, or a chatbot, and I were to run this sequence, right? At least for this automation here, I can run it many times, right? Day and night, and it wouldn't cost me anything except for whatever I paid to Strico already, meaning the LTD, right? By the way, Strico is excellent, right? If you It's an excellent purchase if you are looking to test out different models, right? And then if you know how to work with the API, which is really easy, like if you follow the tutorial that I created for linking Perplexity, is actually the same method, right? Then you could now use this in packages too, and not use up any of the LLM, sorry, any of the credits to run the LLM, right? Yeah, so this is how you do it, right? This is how you save money too, right? So I hope this video is of some value. So if you really like this and you think it's helping you, right, do like, comment, and subscribe. So then you train the algorithm to serve this video to someone else who is in a similar situation, right? And this would definitely benefit them too. All right, so that's all right for this video. I will see you in the next one. Take care.